Hello my beautiful ninjas, it's Nani again, back to you guys with another video. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. I definitely appreciate all your love and all your support. Thank you for all of you who have recently subscribed to my channel and who give my videos a thumbs up and also comment. I definitely really appreciate the feedback. So I want to go ahead and jump right into this video. It is a little bit different. I don't think I've done anything like this on my channel before. But I wanted to just come on and kind of talk to you guys and just share a couple of tips of things that I think that are important to consider when moving out. So if you guys are interested in hearing my tips, I have maybe like 5 or 6, maybe 4 or 5 tips. I might just freestyle along, while I'm actually talking to you guys. I might freestyle and think of other things, but I did write down a couple of things as well on my cell phone. So I want to go ahead and jump right into it. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do hit that subscribe button, and I definitely would appreciate if you guys can share my videos as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alrighty, so the first thing that I want to go ahead and mention to you guys, the first tip that I think that is extremely important of things that you should definitely do before you move out is to really take your time to do appropriate research. Of course, if you're thinking of moving out, it's an exciting thing, but you definitely want to make sure that you don't put yourself in a position where you move to somewhere that you can't really afford, and you definitely don't want to put yourself in a position where you move somewhere where you don't really like the area that you're living in. So that's really the time when you're able to really kind of like, put your plan on paper, put your thoughts and ideas in the areas that you're interested in living in. You can put them down on paper and actually cross-check those things by doing your proper research. Even if, your deadline is not really coming up very soon, even if you're looking to move a year from now, it's definitely important that you kind of get an idea of what it is that would work for you financially, and then also the areas that you're interested in actually living in, because you want to make sure that it's something that's safe for you, and then also you definitely don't want to break the budget doing it. So make sure that you do write down, what your budget is, what you're looking to spend on a monthly basis, the areas that you are interested in, how many bedrooms you would like, how many bathrooms you would like. Make sure that you write down a list of your wants, and then cross-check with what's available in your region to see, okay, if I'm willing to spend, $700 a month on my rent, what areas can I realistically find those housings, whether it's an apartment or a townhome or a home that you're looking for, whatever it is. Like when you actually put in what you want and you try to cross-check those things with the references online with different sites and things like that that you can use, it'll help you to kind of narrow down the areas that you're actually able to live in. And if you feel like the areas that are available to you are not really places that you feel comfortable living, then maybe you have to do something extra to kind of raise your budget a little bit. Maybe you can save a little bit more before you actually move out. So definitely take all those things into consideration and don't rush throughout the process of researching, because like I said, once you move out, you don't want to be stuck in a place that you can't afford, and you definitely don't want to be stuck in a place that you don't really feel safe. So again, take your time to do your appropriate research. So that's tip number 1. Now, the second thing that I would definitely recommend that's extremely important when you're actually considering moving out, besides doing your appropriate research, is, like I said, save your money. This is extremely important. And to me, in my opinion, if you're thinking of moving out, for your first time, I wouldn't say just save whatever amount that you actually need to get into the place. Like, let's say, for example, like I said, your budget is, let's say, $500 a month. And typically, a lot of these places, they ask for like first, last, and security. So that's $1,500. I wouldn't say as soon as you get $1,500, move. You don't want to put yourself in a messed up position, because things happen. What if you can't really, on your first week that you moved in, or in the first month that you actually moved out, what if you're put in a position where you can't really work and earn money? So you definitely don't want to put yourself in that position. I would say if you're thinking of moving out, and the initial, deposit that you have to put out to actually be able to move to the place that you want, let's say if it is $1,500, I would say save $1,500 times 2. So basically, it guarantees that you have enough money to move in that pays for your first month, your last month, and your deposit. And then that extra $1,500, that's already 3 months worth of rent that you have on reserve. So in case things happen, you don't have to really worry about, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to, pay my rent this month? And you definitely don't want to put yourself in a position where you move out and you have to move back in. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you're taking the decision to actually, just take responsibility for yourself and just step out on your own independence, then you definitely don't want to put yourself in that position because, pride comes into play, the ego comes into play, and then a lot of times, people will say, I told you so, I knew you wasn't ready, and all of that. So avoid all of that, and to avoid you kind of like reneging on the decision that you made for yourself, and just to kind of enjoy the freedom and just the luxury of being independent, I would say just to be on the safe side, save enough money to obviously move out, but save as well, I would say at least 3 months worth of rent before you actually make that move, just so it just protects you if anything were to happen where you cannot work because you're sick or whatever the case may be. At least you have 3 months where it's like, okay, I'm good, my bills are paid, I don't have to worry about getting kicked out, I don't have to worry about having to borrow money from people or getting loans and things like that, because that's definitely not going to help anything at all. So definitely make sure that you save your money. And like I said, make sure to save at least 3 months worth of rent on top of whatever it is, on top of whatever money is required for you to actually move into the place. So that would be my recommendation. Of course, do what works for you, but I would say up to 3 months. You can have maybe an extra month or maybe an extra 2 months, but for me, for my security purposes and just the way that I worry, at least 3 months, I know that, look, I can figure some things out, I can make some things happen, and I don't have to worry about getting kicked out of my apartment. So that's gonna be the second tip for sure. So make sure that you save your coins, honey, okay? Save your money. Now, the third thing that I want to go ahead and mention to you, which is definitely important, and I think that it's definitely something that people should definitely consider when you're thinking of possibly moving out. And of course, one of those things is to not live beyond your means. If you know you have a budget of $500 a month, that's where you'd be able to pay your rent, you'd be able to pay all your other bills, you'd be able to put food on your table. Stick to $500 a month. Just because you saw, another apartment that has an extra bedroom because you want to create a beauty room, or because you have, another apartment that has 2 bathrooms or whatever the case may be, or the area that it lives in, it has, floor to ceiling windows and whatever the case may be. Those things are nice and those things are lovely and those things will come. You have to understand that those things take time for you to get there. But if you know that your budget is $500 and you'd be able to comfortably pay your bills every month without missing a meal, then I would say stick to $500. Do not try to be cute. Do not try to, show out, I guess, by trying to get something that's $1,000 a month and you don't eat, or you can only eat ramen noodles every day. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense for you to put yourself in that position, because like I said, what if you're not able to work for a month or 2 months? Then what? How are you gonna pay your bills if you're barely making it? So definitely make sure that you understand that, yes, I understand that you wanna move out. Yes, I understand that you wanna show people that, yes, you can do it on your own, but make sure that you're smart about it, because really moving out is something that just shows that you're responsible. It's more than showing out. It's more than showing, what you have. It's just about showing your responsibility and also just gaining your, your confidence and your independence. So there's so much to be learned in that process, and I definitely don't think that you should jump into something that you maybe cannot, get yourself out of. So definitely make sure that you stick to your budget and do not live beyond your means. And another thing as well, I feel like a lot of times, even if, let's say, you go with that $500 apartment, a lot of ways that you can still kind of like create, I guess, that ambiance or create that look that you want of that apartment that was $1,000, for example. You can buy different decor pieces to tie it in and just create your own space to make it feel like $1 million bucks, So you don't have to spend an extra $500 that you can't even afford monthly just to get the luxury or just to get the look of that $1,000 apartment. There are ways that you can tweak it. There are ways that you can, make certain adjustments to make sure that it fits right for you. And again, that $1,000 property, you can get there. You can work your way up to that. But when you're first moving out, it's about being responsible. It's about being smart. It's about gaining your independence and being able to sustain it. You definitely don't want to move out to move back in. Trust me, it's embarrassing. So that's going to be my third tip. Make sure that you just live within your means and don't try to impress other people and try to live beyond your means. yeah, it's not gonna work out. Alrighty, and the last tip that I want to go ahead and mention to you guys is to embrace change and to embrace responsibility. Just depending on what your living situation is now, maybe some of you guys live with your parents, some of you guys, I don't know, whatever your living situation is. I know for me personally, before I moved out, I was living with my parents. And it was hard. Like, that transition was hard because I feel like your parents naturally know that it's gonna come to a point where you're going to want your own space and you're going to want to kind of like do your own thing. But I feel like it was definitely tough to make that transition because it's hard on them, it's hard on you, you're stressed, it's a lot of responsibility, and that time can definitely be, you know, very overwhelming. So make sure that you understand that even though that it's stressful, even though that you can get worried, even though that, you know, that time can feel a little bit overwhelming, that it's okay to embrace that change and to embrace the responsibility of moving out on your own. Because there's, once you get to the other side of things, it's like, it's an amazing feeling because you learn so much about yourself, you learn so much about like what you're capable of. You know, you start building stronger relationships with your family and with your parents, and they start viewing you as an adult, and you start looking at yourself as an adult as well. Like, you start really kind of like surprising yourself, and just that really just helps to build, I would say, self-confidence. It definitely helps you to build just a stronger sense of yourself and who you are and what you're able and capable of doing. So make sure that you definitely embrace that change. Be excited about it because it's exciting. You know, it's, you know, you're moving into and transitioning into like a different part and a different phase of your life, which should be exciting, and it shouldn't be anything else but exciting. You know, even if you don't have the support that you're looking for, you know, as long as you've made sure that you've thought everything out and you're doing it for all the right reasons and you're being smart about it, and you're saving your money and you're being responsible, and you're not trying to move out to, you know, show out on people or try to impress other people as to what you can do. I mean, anytime you make certain moves like that, especially big moves like that, and you have like, I guess, wrong or not really like good intentions behind it, a lot of times it can work out to fail, you know, and you definitely don't want to do that. So just make sure that you're at the place where you're ready. You're at the place where you're able to, you know, be excited about moving out and getting your own place and just starting to do your own thing. Because like I said, it definitely helps you to gain a lot more self-confidence. It just helps to teach you that you're capable of doing more than you think. And it's just an amazing feeling. So I think that you guys would definitely, you know, enjoy, you know, if you're in the place now where you're looking to moving out and you're kind of like down or you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, hopefully this video is giving you some type of like motivation or inspiration or something like that. Because like I said, it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing feeling, but just make sure that you do your due diligence. Like I said, make sure that you do the proper research and take your time when you're researching. Make sure that you're realistic about your budget and what you can afford and the areas that you can live in. Make sure that you're realistic, because as much as all of us, we want, you know, a 5-bedroom penthouse right on the beach overlooking the water, your budget may not be set up for that right now, and it's okay. But as long as you take the first step and you're responsible, you know, you do your appropriate research, you find your budget, and you actually, you know, work with what you currently have, you can expand on that, and those things will come along eventually. So again, make sure that you save your money. Don't just save enough to move in. Save enough to actually protect you if something major happens and you can't really work for, you know, a month or 2 months or whatever the case may be. Of course, like I said, make sure that you do not live beyond your means, because it's just embarrassing if you have to move out and you have to move back in. And I'm not saying that for some of you that maybe you were in that position where you moved out and you had to move back in yourself, but it's okay. Just learn from your mistakes and move forward, you know. Just make sure that this time around you just work a little bit better and you work a little bit smarter. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this information actually helped in a little bit. But again, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. Make sure that you do subscribe for more videos, and also make sure that you give these videos a thumbs up. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Be safe, stay blessed, and remember to always, always treat yourself. Peace out.